Thank you all so much for coming to KINGMUN. As you know, I'm Natalie, KINGMUN's Director General. It's been a truly wonderful weekend, and we hope that each and every one of you got the chance to step out of your comfort zone, learn new things, meet new people, make some memories, and have fun. Now, here's a few final logistics for you all. Delegation photos are happening after closing ceremonies. If your delegation has opted to take delegation photos, your advisor or head delegate should be contacting you about joining a Zoom link to get your photo taken. If you win an award, we will be sending you your certificate shortly after the conference. Best delegates, look out for an email to confirm your address so that we can ship you a gavel. And once again, we owe a huge thank you to our sponsors, the Bainbridge Community Fund, the University of Oregon, and Zapier, for supporting KINGMUN this year. And I personally owe a huge thank you to my external department. After being hired as our Assistant Director General, Santoshi promptly created possibly the most complex, colorful, and organized spreadsheet I've ever seen solely for keynote speaker outreach. She's a rock star. All of her projects have been smashing successes, and it has been very rewarding to see her absolutely shine in planning and running them. Our marvelous delegate affairs team, Maya and Ksenia, have assigned all of your positions, written countless outreach emails, and continually delight me with how they find new adjectives to describe each other in all of their weekly updates. They're seasoned pros at handling registration crises now, and at filling over 100 delegate forms just to stress test the registration system. And it's true, Maya is luminous and Ksenia is fantabulous. Gloria, our USG of Finance, handles KINGMUN's financial situation with a competence and independence that wows me every week. Gloria is always dependable and good-natured, and she absolutely gets KINGMUN the bread, or in the case of our Chipotle fundraiser, the burritos. The lovely Nicole Yang, our USG of Media, has probably spent too much time staring at KINGMUN Green and fighting publisher while formatting background guides, mail merging placards, and designing merch, but her work has brought all aspects of our conference into beautiful focus. Plus, she wields Canva in a way that makes our Instagram, at KINGMUN 2021, an aesthetic masterpiece. And finally, our registration and website systems were crafted by our stellar USG of Technology, Henry, who will literally slack you about the solution to your tech problem before you even ask him. Really, it's happened to all of Secretariat at least twice. He's always striving to make his work better, and that drive, along with his kindness and dry wit, has made him an invaluable part of this team. Anyway, if any of our spreadsheet wrangling sounds fun to you, I highly recommend just shooting your shot and applying for KINGMUN 2022 External Secretariat, no matter how much experience you have. Being on external has given me hilarious Tuesday night vibe calls, a lot of real-world skills, and this treasured group of friends. When Luke hired me last October, I really had no idea just how incredible the next 6 months were going to be. Words truly do not describe just how awesome my external USGs are and my love for this ridiculously smart dream team. It's been a true honor working with them and the rest of my secretariat. And now, here to speak on the incomparable internal department is our Chief of Staff, Maya Dahlman.
Hello, distinguished delegates, advisors, parents, staff members, and secretariat. It is crazy to think that just 6 months ago, I was sent an email that, surprisingly, had congratulations in the text. After the initial surprise, doubt, and panic over what this meant, I got started working on one of the most fun, hard, and rewarding 6 months of my life. From hiring our staff to today, the final day of the conference, it has been such a pleasure to serve as the Chief of Staff for this conference. It feels like just yesterday I was an 8th grade delegate at Redmond, looking up at the terrifying secretariat members on the Redmond High School stage. Now, I am one of those terrifying secretariat members, and I can definitely say that 8th grade me would be terrified of me today. However, before I get too sappy, I definitely have some people I would like to thank. First, to my lovely staffers, thank you for making my job way easier than I thought it would be. Your constant enthusiasm and passion for this conference did not go unnoticed, and it was incredible to see the amount of growth each and every one of you possessed during this conference period. This was the first conference in MUN Northwest history where we had no hope of being in person, and I was confident this would be a serious detriment to our team. But you all proved me wrong, bringing your all to deliverable writing, staff meetings, and talking with your teammates. I am incredibly proud of each and every one of you, and know that you will all do great things, hopefully in MUN, and definitely in the rest of your life. To my incredible USGs, Thank you. You guys have supported, challenged, and helped me throughout this process, and this conference would not be here today without you. Autumn, our Queen of Principal. Your calm demeanor and willingness to do anything for your staffers was inspiring. And no matter when I asked you how principal bodies were doing, it was always so wonderful to hear they're doing really good. Your incredible ability to lead a team, as well as ensure everyone was in constant communication with each other, is outstanding. Isabella, our external turned internal friend. You have truly demonstrated why there needs to be more cross-department communication. Not only are you incredibly detail-oriented, letting me know whenever the timeline was wrong or when the PowerPoint needed fixing, but your organizational and communication skills are insane. Whether it was one of your beautifully formatted spreadsheets or your ability to somehow respond to my Slack messages before I even sent them, you are incredible. Jothan, our specialized connoisseur. Thank you for your constant creativity, flexibility, and willingness to go the extra mile for the committee so dear to you. Specialized online is incredibly difficult, but that did not stop you, and your committee choices were interesting, debatable, and fun. Not only that, but your ability to read through long-form ROP and understand it, while also being able to explain it to your staff, is impressive to say the least. Natalie, my external counterpart, one of the kindest people I know, and our current all-powerful PAC SG. I cannot tell you how excited I was to hear you were the Director General of this conference. Getting to know you over these past few months has been incredible, and I thank you for tirelessly explaining external to me, making spreadsheets, and being an incredible resource for staff and SEC alike. Your enthusiasm and passion for everything you do is insanely contagious, and everyone who works with you has their day a little brighter when their call is over. Luke, you have been so incredibly helpful and kind throughout these past 6 months, fostering a very chill community that has allowed us to thrive as a team while also not being constantly stressed. Your passion for MUN and the people in it is incredibly cool, and you have such good vibes. I genuinely do not think that the internal department would be where it is today without you, and I am forever thankful for the work, time, and effort you put into KINGMUN. And last, but certainly not least, Nils. Thank you for approving our outlandish ideas, listening to us complain, and working with us to make this conference a possibility. It has been amazing to get to work with you, and you have definitely made the gap between board and secretariat a lot smaller. To wrap this up, I am incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, and am so honored to have served as the Chief of Staff for KINGMUN 2021. Before I leave, I simply want to let everyone know that there is something after KINGMUN. Even if it is the end of your MUN journey, it is not the end of your diplomacy, communication, or interview skills, nor is it the end of your legacy within MUN. No matter what impact you made, are making, or would like to make, be sure to be kind and communicative throughout all of it. Now, I have the pleasure of passing the mic over to my lovely internal USGs.
Hi everyone, my name is Autumn Rhee, and I had the utmost honor of serving as your USG Principal Bodies for KINGMUN 2021. During this past year, I worked closely with 3 carefully crafted committees of SOCUM, UNIDO, and UNSC, who all prepared extensively for the conference. Through all the staff meetings, the highs and lows of our USG check-ins, I'm so happy to have gotten to bond with such an amazing group of staffers that have never disappointed me. SOCUM, thank you for being so prompt with your communication and being so organized with your work. UNIDO, thank you for constantly keeping it exciting with your active chat messaging. And UNSC, thank you for being such an adaptive committee and being thorough with all your deliverables. Despite the virtual platform, thank you all for being the most unstoppable, energetic, and sincere group of staffers this year. Without further ado, I will now hand it off to my principal directors for their committee awards.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mina Nair, and I had the honor of serving as the director for the SOCHUM or SOCUM committee for KINGMUN 2021. I was joined by my marvelous chair, Vikram, and my Amazeballs assistant director, Vivian. Throughout the conference, we focused on the topics of improving employment opportunities for refugees and internally displaced persons, and addressing human rights violations in the youth juvenile justice system. This committee came up with numerous solutions to combat the issues at hand, from creating resettlement programs to talking about the specifics of microfinancing. This group of delegates had truly the most poggers of speeches and the other numerous adjectives they came up with. We're so incredibly proud about how amazingly diplomatic they've been. Regardless of the awards, you all should be so proud, as you have shown how you can be respectful and come up with creative, concise solutions. That being said, here are the awards.
Hello, my name is Marjan Fathi, and I am beyond honored to serve as the Director of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization at KINGMUN 2021. This weekend, alongside my valid chair, Caleb Dempster, and my swaggy Assistant Director, Erica Nee, this committee discussed two topics that are imperative to the future of industrial development: improving industrial resilience, environmental and natural disasters, and overcoming industrial sanitation challenges. From traveling teachers to NGOs and education to Demi Lovato, quite literally everything that occurred in this committee was unexpected. This group of delegates have continuously made this abnormal KINGMUN replicate the in-person MUN conferences that I have learned to love, with their passionate, resourceful, and humorous personalities. Regardless of the award results, all delegates should be proud of their performance this weekend and the eloquent discussions they had. Without further ado, the awards are as follows.
The United Nations Security Council at KINGMUN 2021 was undeniably a small one, but it really didn't matter. The delegates were beyond impressive, the resolutions were top quality, and the UNSC can basically do whatever it wants. So we did. My chair Raheel and my assistant director Surjan were simply top-notch. Debate was high quality and wide-ranging, and nobody was safe from intellectual criticism, including but not limited to John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, and the state of California. I was thrilled by how this committee turned out, and the following most certainly deserved the awards they received.
Hello, my name is Isabella Wang, and I'm serving as your USG of EcoSoc for KINGMUN 2021. Now, let me tell you a little about myself. So prior to holding this position, I worked really closely with the external realm of MUN Secretariat. But when I started working on KINGMUN Internal, I was so blown away by all of my staffers. Each and every one of them showed an absolute devotion to this conference, writing deliverable after deliverable, running through ROP, attending countless meetings, but most of all, cultivating an amazing MUN community. And as they know, there's no bonding experience quite like running a MUN conference together. So to my wonderful staff, regardless of if you're an up-and-coming MUN goer or if you're a graduating senior, I have so much love for all of you and have no doubt that you will continue to be outstanding leaders in your community. And with that, I welcome our EcoSoc directors for their committee awards.
Hello, my name is Nandini Daga, and I'm proud to have served as director on this year's UNESCO, alongside my supercalifragilistic chair, Ivan Maykov, and my magnificent assistant director, Shrima Narasimhan. Our delegates debated increasing transparency in scientific innovation and the restitution and protection of cultural property, two insane topics that they handled with such grace and with so much detail, even with Ivan's increasingly funky adjectives. And even if the whole bundle of ideas ended up being highlighted yellow, you continued to wow us with your amazing editing skills, debate skills, and overall patience. I am so proud of you and of the skills that you have shown today. To both the amazing delegates and my wonderful staff, thank you for making this the best goodbye to staffing I've ever could have had. And I hope that you guys continue to come next year.
Hello, my name is Claire Charvet, and it has been an honor to serve as your director for the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, alongside my wonderful chair, Disha Karamanchi, and my fabulous assistant director, Chantal Zhao. Over the course of this weekend, we have discussed two very important topics, addressing political corruption and accountability and efficacy in law enforcement. Throughout committee sessions, our delegates rose to the occasion with ingenious discussion, a plethora of lovely acronyms, and exquisite resolutions. From passionate debates over funding to an interlude to hear Luke's Australian accent during Candygrams, UNCAC will be a committee I remember forever. And I thank the delegates for making my last MUN conference such a special one. Our delegates continually amazed us with their thoughtfulness and creativity throughout, and all delegates should be extremely proud of their efforts and the work they put into this committee. And with that, here are the awards.
Hello, wonderful KINGMUN delegates. My name is Mariah Sue, and I am the director of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. I, with my amazing chair, Sanjita Rishikesan, and my fantastic assistant director, Asher C., am more than thrilled to see the wonderful debate and discussions we've had in the committee during KINGMUN 2021. We loved how passionate all the delegates are about the prepared topics and the innovative solutions they were able to come up with. The past 2 days have been super exciting, and we were so impressed with each and every delegate in the UNWTO. Nonetheless, we had to narrow down the awards to 4 of the most outstanding delegates. This was a very difficult process, and we had so many amazing delegates to choose from. But the time has come, and the awards are as follows.
My name is Jonathan Arjun, and it was my absolute pleasure to serve as your Undersecretary General of Specialized Committees at KINGMUN 2021, overseeing the Joint Crisis Committee, the Senatus Populus Romanus, and the new state convention this year was an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I could do it alongside the wonderful internal team, chaotic group calls and all my amazing staffers, who've put in countless hours writing background guides and creating your committees from the ground up. The first thing you think of when you hear the word specialized is, as the word implies, special. And that's really what the essence of these committees is about. Simulating ancient wars, holding intellectual discourse on novel ideas, and extending beyond regular systems of ROP are pretty much things you can only witness in these committees. And it's their unique nature that makes them so much more endearing. For me, specialized committees have always held a very, very close place in my heart, and I've grown to love the riveting, action-packed plot twists and the community I've been exposed to as a result of it. I wanted to truly thank all of the staff members and extend my gratitude for all the work you've put in to turn around our fully virtual conference into an immersive experience that everyone could enjoy. Thank you. Delegates, thank you so much for being creative, chaotic, and most of all, inspiring. It was truly inspiring to read through your well-thought-out directives, or bills in the case of the Roman Senate, and listening to your detailed and comprehensive speeches kept me on my toes. I had so much fun popping through your committee Zooms this weekend, and I hope that you all did too. You guys made this an unforgettable last conference, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the memories. Now, I'll hand it off to the amazing specialized directors to present their committees.
Hello, my name is Ron Dubinsky, and this weekend I've had the privilege of serving as the director of SPQR, the Senatus Populus Romanus, alongside our chair, Ryan Ash, and our assistant directors, Arya Gupta and Xavier Nazal. From the beginning, this group of delegates never ceased to amaze me. Taking a committee meant to discuss reforms to Roman territorial and military administration and foreign policy. These delegates gave Rome a makeover not to be rivaled until the advent of 80s movies. Overall, I want delegates to know that I am incredibly impressed with their ability to write loads of bills and adapt to an unconventional ROP, as well as a sudden shift to a crisis as Carthage attacked again. And though I would give every delegate in this committee an award if I could, I really do mean that. The awards are as follows.
Hello, delegates. My name is May Houtz, and I had the privilege of serving as the director for the new state committee alongside the incredible chair Anat Dubinsky and phenomenal assistant director Emily Chu. Being a brand new committee meant that the planning process was extensive, long, but incredibly rewarding after seeing all of your work during committee, where we saw dedication, passion, and incredibly, compromise. Your discussions ranging from bicameral legislature to using Bitcoin, or more specifically, put a very expensive carton of milk as currency has been amazing to listen to, and we the Dias are so proud of all of the hard work that each philosopher put into your debates and your directives. Thank you all for an amazing weekend, and the awards are as follows.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritika Prakash and I have the honor of serving as the Joint Director at KINGMUN's Joint Crisis Committee this year, along with my lovely Joint Chair Nisarga Ramesh. This year our delegates got to embody warring mafias in the hostile Castilla-Marí's war. We came across so many amazing directives and creative plans from our delegates in order to one-up the opposing side. We saw assassinations, bar poisonings, and even efforts from delegates to overthrow their own bloc leaders. I was overjoyed to see the energy and effort each delegate brought to our committee this year. Despite the remote setting, I felt extremely lucky to have such a great committee at my final conference and to see all of our hard work pay off. It is now my pleasure to introduce our amazing Block 1 director, Henry Rogers.
Hi everyone, my name is Henry Rogers and I had the absolute honor of working as the director of Block 1 of the Joint Crisis Committee at this year's KINGMUN conference. I'd like to thank the amazing JCC staff team this year, with our chair, Junie Kim, and our assistant director, Kaylee Allen. This has been one of the most special JCCs I've ever participated in or staffed, and that would not be possible without our block's incredible delegates. From running for president to racketeering, our delegates help make JCC the incredible committee it always has the potential to be. With that said, I am pleased to announce this year's awards and hand it off to Spring, our wonderful Block 2 director.
Thank you, Henry. My name is Springchen JP, and it is my esteemed honor and privilege to serve as your director for Block 2 of the Joint Crisis Committee. Serving with me were my chair, Belle Pon, and my assistant director, Pauline Ngom, whose unflinching optimism and keen eye to detail helped the committee go along swimmingly. Over 2 days, our committee submitted over 200 directives, and we created over 20 press releases. Delegates, I applaud your innovation and commitment to working together for a common good. I hope you can take something that you learned from this committee experience with you in the rest of your journeys, wherever they may take you. Without further ado, the awards.
For Secretariat, KINGMUN has been 7 months. For staff, 5 months. And for delegates, just 2 days. But I think that we can all agree, no matter how long KINGMUN was for any of us, it was simply too short. Despite the nature of a Model UN conference's lifespan, each conference manages to compact months of experiences into just a few days, which is why it's so addicting, and it's why this program has exploded in popularity over the past few years. For me, Model UN has become the single most important program in my life, but it was never just about debate. I didn't fall in love with Model UN when I nailed my first speech in front of 400 other delegates, or when I won my first award, or even when I got my first secretary position. I fell in love with Model UN at the midnight crisis of PACMUN 2016 as the small but determined nation of Canada. With the sleep-deprived drunkenness of 2 a.m. debate, the roar of delegates knocking on their tables and the boisterous laughter somehow felt like home. Over the past 4 years and 30 conferences, I have learned a tremendous amount about foreign policy, how to deliver a speech with conviction, and how to compromise without sacrificing my position. I am thankful for having the opportunity to cultivate these skills. but they aren't the reason I devoted thousands of hours to this program. I stayed at Model UN because it felt like home. Model UN, in my opinion, stays a special program in the Northwest because of community. When I was a freshman, I was drawn into the program because I wanted to learn how to debate. But I stayed because I was supported there. In a world where people are increasingly blinded to the world around them, MUN taught me to not only understand others' opinions, but to appreciate them. Simply put, Model UN changed how I interact with the world. To argue not to win, but to learn. To research not to reinforce what I already know, but to find something objective. And to learn about a new culture not with the hubris of superiority, but with the humility and eagerness to learn. MUN is alive with people who live these values and create this community. As a freshman, I was encouraged to care, to be passionate. Seniors helped me research and had after-school coffee with me, not just because they wanted me to succeed, but because they cared about me. And when I later took up secretary positions as a senior, I was relieved to find that the community was even more vibrant than before. My secretariat and staff are not just the people I work with. They are my lifelong friends. Friends who have supported me over the past year when I was sleep-deprived, overworked, and, frankly, grumpy. Friends I can rely on not just for work, but for life, when I was at my worst. I cannot be thankful enough for these friends, secretariat and staff, for their role in my life. Truly, my senior year would have been bland and depressing without their energy, smiles, and clinically insane passion. These relationships are what makes this community special. MUN has never, and I hope will never, be about just winning in debate. MUN is about helping each other learn and supporting each other through that process. Community is the yeast that keeps MUN alive. Our secretariat and staff devoted thousands of hours to this conference, not because we simply adore fixing broken Slack links, poring over spreadsheets, and editing endless background guides. Although, I think some of my secretariat and staff are actually masochistic enough to enjoy those things. No, instead we put this conference on for you, our community. This weekend, you became a part of the narrative that is MUN in the Northwest. Whether you found your community in the debate itself, or the candygrams, or even in our delegate social, I hope that we could share a piece of this incredible community with you. And for that, I cannot be thankful enough to you, the delegate, for your contribution to the community this weekend. Yet, MUN doesn't stop after today. This program stays special because of people like you, who care enough to keep it that way, to give back and to see others enjoy the same experiences that you had. So my hope for each of you is that you can continue to be a part of this community, formally or informally. Whether that means for you volunteering for your school's MUN program, or staying in touch with your fellow delegates, or applying to be Secretary General of KINGMUN 2022. I hope that each of you can continue to grow this community, to support each other through adversity, to argue not to win, but to understand, and to have an open mind when it is hardest. Model UN was never created to eradicate the world's issues. But if we start here and support each other, we can be a part of the movement that eradicates ignorance and hate. That is KINGMUN, and that is growth in community. Now, are there any points or motions on the floor at this time? The Secretary General would smile upon a motion to suspend KINGMUN 2021 until KINGMUN 2022. Yes, Natalie, that is a motion. All other motions will be ruled dilatory at this time. All those in favor of Natalie Sarabosian's motion to suspend KINGMUN 2021 until KINGMUN 2022, please raise your placards now. This clearly passes. KINGMUN 2021 has now been suspended. Thank you for being a part of this community.